Thank you. Item number 3, adoption of the agenda. I'll take a motion. Motion by Selena, second by Antoinette. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Number 4, hearing of the public. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this board? Going once, going twice. There will be another hearing of the public at the end of the meeting. Moving on to item 5A. Request to approve lease for CMH West, 6555 15 Mile Road, Third Amendment. This has been approved by legal. I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Antoinette, support by Lori. TJ?
I'm happy to field any questions.
You think we've talked about it a lot? Does anybody have any other questions?
Uh,
I mean, if you do, that's fine.
Do you want me to ask?
Nick, you got any questions?
Well, you answered most of my questions.
Except for the
Oh,
increase.
Yeah, that's right. You were looking up the.
So Nick reached out to me earlier today. We are renewing this lease for 3 years, which equates to about $7.40 a square foot. The rate increase over our current rate is about 34%. Each year for the next 3 years is a 3.5% increase.
That works out. The new rate is how much per square foot?
$7.40.
Okay, thank you.
You good, Nick? Anything else?
Just a real
No.
quick. Oh, is he done?
Nick, are you
I'm
good?
done.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
Donna, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly ask, when I read the contract, it appeared that they're going to be fixing the roof and promising to do some other repairs that are needed. I know that there was some concern about the plumbing and things like that. Are we still responsible for the plumbing in the new contract?
We are still responsible for the plumbing.
Okay,
And the problems with our plumbing are mostly based around the usage and what goes down some of the drains. So we have a facility person that's on site there, John Brophy, I think you've met him. He makes his office there, so we're quick to respond to any of those kind of concerns. The fact that the building was built in the early to mid 1980s, the drain size is probably slightly inappropriate for what we're using it for today. The roof has been started, they're replacing the roof, and they're taking over the maintenance contract for the heating and cooling system and the elevator. We'll still be responsible for repairs, but they're going to take over the maintenance contract, and then they're doing some exterior repairs. And as a side note, I will probably come back to this board for some of the additional work that we want to do to that building.
I thought we were moving. We're not moving?
Against my better judgment, we're not moving,
Okay, I'm just asking.
but we're not moving.
Any other questions?
At least not for 3 years.
Yeah,
Oh, 3 years?
3 years.
on
Go ahead, Nick.
that point, it's more of a comment than a question. We already have, I believe, a task force or group of people working on looking at transportation issues across the whole system. We probably should create one that involves appropriate staff, board, maybe even somebody from the union, to work with TJ on long-term facility. So for lack of a better term, for brainstorming purposes, to see if we can get ideas. Because this is like a Band-Aid. It's not a long-term fix.
Agreed. I think for right now, we're focused on transportation because that was
Right.
one of the biggest catalysts, right? And I think that we will continue, and I do agree with you, Nick, but I think we need to continue to research properties, and I think it's a hard balance because 3 years is a little bit too early. It's not too early to plan. It's just where there's such limited properties that are available, we'll have to move quickly once we establish some things. And we're trying to be, as open-minded as possible about what that solution looks like. Is it one location? Is it multiple locations?
Yeah, I don't have a suggestion. I'm just saying, get folks together to kind of brainstorm. Maybe somebody will come up with a good idea.
Okay, thanks, Nick. Anything else for TJ? Okay, I have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 5B, request to approve PIHP Amendment 3 for fiscal year '24. This is pending legal approval. I'll take a motion. Support. Motion by Phil, support by Antoinette. Tracy?
It has been approved by legal since this came in very, very quickly. We got approval a couple hours ago. If you look at it, I simplify it. Basically, the only change is it's giving us more funding. And there are attachments, but essentially, if you look at the last page where it says the changes, it's just referencing those. We basically had a rate increase, and if you see the dollar amount, it's on the first page, from 314 to 319. I'm also drawing to your attention that this was last year, so this is a change, a contract amendment that ended on September 30th, so about 6 weeks ago. And we will sign it and submit it at the end of the month, assuming that you guys approve this both here and at the full board. I'm happy to answer any questions, of course.
Any questions for Tracy? Okay, I have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to item 5D, request to approve contracting with Advanced Therapeutic Solutions LLC effective. Oh, I crossed it off.
That is unkind.
Yeah, I know. Check off, Tracy, you're approved. This is the problem with me trying to like do glasses and, okay, sorry. Item 5C, request to approve the contract with Tracy Smith as MCCMH's CEO beginning January 1st, 2025. I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Support.
I think motion support by everybody, but I'll say, motion by Selena, support by Wayne. Is anybody talking about this or are we just voting? Phil?
I mean, if you want to just vote, go ahead. Thank you, Data. Obviously, we need to do a new contract for our CEO every year. We tried to lump it all in together since she went from interim to full-time and do kind of like a 15 or 16-month one, but that didn't work out so well. So while we were negotiating, I put that in air quotes, negotiating the contract for these few months, we also had conversations with the executive's office about what salary would be going forward, which is why we have this earlier than normal. Normally we have this at the end of December and we're signing documents on December 29th and 30th. So I wanted to avoid that this time. So we kind of pulled it all together. Everything in the contract is the same except for the salary and the dates. So we worked with the county. They have the pay scale. The pay scale is what it is. Tracy has agreed to it. All the parties have agreed to it except for this body, so it's before us tonight and to hopefully approve at the end of this month, and we can keep Tracy for another year. So, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Phil. Any questions? All right, motion and support, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we'll do item 5D. Request to approve contracting with Advanced Therapeutic Solutions LLC effective December 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025. I'll take a motion. Support. Motion by Antoinette, support by, I wasn't looking. Lori? Donna. Okay, Donna made the motion, Antoinette supported. Thanks, guys. Christina?
Hi, good evening. So this is in result of the request for proposal that we did this year, and we are seeking music, art, recreation, and massage therapy services. These are waiver services for children, so children's waiver and SED waiver. So it was a need in our system, and this will help to support that need. Any
Okay,
questions?
Thank you, Christina. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, item 5E, request to approve releasing an RFP to contract with a vendor to conduct the Medicaid verification audit. I'll take. Support. Motion by Selena, support by Lori. Christina?
And this one is because we are currently on a 2-year with an option for a 1-year extension cycle with the vendor that provides the service to us. So that will be up this year. So we want to get the request for proposal completed in December, January, and released so that it won't disrupt next year's audit cycle. So this audit is a requirement of our PHP contract.
Okay, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item 5F, request to approve contracting with New Oakland Children and Family Services for mobile crisis services effective November 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2025. I'll take a motion. Motion by Mark, support by Selena. Christina?
Okay, this one was also in response to a request for proposal for the mobile crisis services. This is a requirement to be a CCBHC, so we must get this in line. We are currently doing this, but this will expand it, and our hope will be that we can support adults and children 24/7.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ooh, Christina, you're like up there for the rest of the night.
Yeah, just wrap it all up here.
Item G, request to approve contracting with CARE of Southeastern Michigan for outpatient behavioral health services effective 10/1/2024 through September 30th, 2025. This has been approved by legal. I'll take a motion. So move. Motion by Antoinette, support by Lori. Christina?
Okay, so same spiel. We've been very busy with requests for proposals this year, as you can see. So this one will help to support the needs that we have with outpatient mental health services. So CARE will be coming on board, if you approve, to provide those front door services, case management, psychiatry, therapy, and those types of things. And they're currently contracted with us under our SUD services, not under the mental health, so we'll get to expand with them. Any questions on that?
Okay. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, item 5H, request to approve contracting with Gateway Pediatric Therapy LLC for behavioral management services from November 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025. This has been approved by legal. I'll take a motion. So moved. Motion by Antoinette, support by, was that you, Lori? Selena? Okay, Christina?
Okay, so this was another request for proposal for behavioral management services. This is a service that we really need to expand. What's really exciting about this opportunity is Gateway is currently an ABA provider with us, so they're going to have staff that are used to writing behavioral treatment plans and providing this level of care to a higher needs population. So I think this will really meet the demand and the need in our system.
Okay, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item 5I, request to approve contracting with 4 providers, Akoya Behavioral Health, Autism of America, Mercy Plus, and Positive Behavioral Supports for behavioral health treatment applied behavior analysis services effective November 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025. This has been approved by legal. I'll take a motion. Motion by Selena, support by Lori. You guys really sound alike, just so you know. Okay, Christina?
Okay, last request for proposal for ABA services. So these were the 4 vendors selected by the procurement committee to move forward for credentialing and contracting. As you probably know, we do have a high demand for ABA services in our community, and so this will help us to expand those services with providers that met the minimum qualifications.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you.
Christina. All right, moving on to item 6, receive and file. Item 6A, customer service call center report, fiscal year 24 presentation. Support. Do I have everybody, do we vote on that? Okay, when she's done. Okay, it's all you.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Chanel Moore. I'm the Customer Service Administrator here at Macomb County Community Mental Health. Before you in your packets this evening, you should have a copy of the Customer Service Call Center Report for fiscal year 2024. So I just wanted to go over a few key highlights from that report. As you all probably know, the customer service phone number is that 855 number that you see everywhere on all of our public-facing materials. I manage manage the team that answers those calls. We are essentially the telephonic front door for the organization. During last fiscal year, we handled almost 65,000 calls at the front door. That is about 10% less than the previous fiscal year. We did that with a team at the time. We had 8. We've now onboarded 1 additional full-time staff. So we have 9 full-time team members, 1 of which is part-time. 1 also acts as the team lead. And then there's myself as the customer service administrator that oversees the team. So within those calls, we receive calls from individuals seeking services or people with just general questions regarding Macomb County community mental health. So we field all those calls and get people where they need to go. On the second page of your packet, you'll see some of our key performance indicators. So out of these metrics, we have 5 things that we look at and we kind of monitor on an ongoing basis. The first of which is the service level. And so I'm going to go back and forth between pages 2 and 3. There's a chart on page 3 that outlines that during this fiscal year, we had an internal stretch goal that we set for ourselves to obtain 90% service level, which means we answered 30% of the calls within 90% of the calls within 30 seconds. And that was a stretch goal that we were able to meet 2 months out of the year. The rest of the year, we were pretty successful with meeting all of the benchmarks that were set forth by us, by our governing bodies. There was 1 month in particular where we fell a little bit shy, but we were able to quickly recover. That month was August 2024, which is on your forms there in red. But overall, we were consistently able to meet all of our KPIs. The average time to answer, our goal again is within 30 seconds. Our average wait time is that callers don't hold for more than 2 minutes. Our abandonment rate, which is if a call is coming in and we're not able to get to it within 2 minutes, that is triggering to our abandonment rate. We were able to keep that consistently below the 5% threshold. And also requeues, which requeues are a measure of agent availability. So if a call comes in and an agent misses it, it requeues and goes to the next available agent. Our team benchmark is to get 10 or less requeues per month, and we were consistently able to do that as well throughout the fiscal year. So all of these metrics are there on the chart for you. Again, all of these metrics are measurable, but we also have some things, as you probably could imagine over the phone, that aren't so tangible. We call those the silent or soft skills. So to address the soft skills and make sure that every call is treated with dignity and respect, we also conduct silent call monitoring. So silent call monitoring is a feature that myself and the team lead, we do randomly with each team member at least once a week on 1 call randomly a week. We silently monitor to listen and ensure that all of those callers are being treated with dignity and respect and that we're meeting the protocols that are also outlined in this here packet. So there are 11 protocols that we either mark met or not met. So during this fiscal year, all of our team members were able to consistently meet those benchmarks as well, which we have a threshold of 90% or more. So we were able to do that, and if there were some areas that we were needing a little bit of support in, we would develop tools to provide them to the team to ensure that they had the support that they needed to continue to serve the individuals who call us for help. So that is the overall view of the customer service cost center report for fiscal year 2024. Were there any questions?
Thanks, Chanel. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, first off, this is an excellent report, and
Thank you.
what you are measuring appears to be very good. Or at least you're keeping up with all of the things you're measuring very well, so congratulations.
Thank you.
I have 2 questions, and they're kind of like at opposite extremes. The first one deals with the times that the call center is closed. How do we make sure we get those people, particularly if it's a crisis, to the crisis center? Does it automatically go to the crisis center, or do you just get a recording?
So that's a very good question. The customer service line operates Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. after hours, and on holidays, we are closed on county holidays. Callers will hear a phone tree. That phone tree would let them know if you are in crisis, you can push a button, I believe the number might be 0, to get to the crisis center. The crisis center is staffed 24/7, 365, so they never close. And they are there to assist individuals who may be experiencing a mental health crisis and need that support right away.
Okay, so I don't have to call another number
No.
to get to, I don't even have to call 988.
No.
All I have to do is push a button to
Yes.
get transferred over. I assume the recording then says something like, if you are in crisis, do this.
Yes.
Okay, that's excellent. The worst, one of the things I hate is making a phone call and being told to call somebody else. It's aggravating. But on the other hand, I don't want to get these general questions bogging down the crisis center, because then they're not able to deal with the
Sure.
crises in as timely a fashion. The other question I have is on the other end of the spectrum, now that we are caring for mild and moderates and others. I've had a couple of folks contact me who said that they called the call center, but the call center wasn't aware of some of our newer services, CCBHC, for instance, or how to deal with, how we deal with people who are insured, or how to get people services who are insured, but not all places take that, but our CCBHC center does. What are we doing? And quite frankly, I'm sympathetic because there's been so much. I don't know I can't keep up. I don't know how anybody else keeps up. What are we doing to train the call center workers in all these new variations of services?
Certainly, that's another great question. There is no wrong door, and that absolutely sounds like a training opportunity that I'll absolutely take note of. So if an individual calls us and they're requesting services, we don't do that. There's no wrong door. So we would get them triaged into our system and then probably provide them with the walk-in information to one of our clinics. Now, depending on how specific their questions are, they may be advised that when you come in for your intake, you will meet with a clinician and they will develop a person-centered plan with you, because all of the services that we provide are person-centered. So there may be some questions that would have to go through that process. But again, it sounds like an excellent training opportunity that I'll certainly review with the team. There's no wrong door. No one is turned away. Anyone in need of services should get them and should be directed to the appropriate means of getting that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions?
Before you vote, I know it's not great, I just wanted to make sure that if you aren't already picking up, Chanel and her team do a really amazing job. And I know that the people who have been in our organization for a couple years, we were in a different place a couple years. So I never want to miss the opportunity to praise Chanel and her team. And I mean this with the utmost respect, that you on a regular basis inspire me to be better and to try more and just to be solution focused on everything that we can do better for the community. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Chanel. Okay, I have a motion to receive and file. All in favor? Okay. Item 6B, MCCMH Airfoil Quarter 3, 2024 Communication Report. I'll take a motion to receive and file. Motion by Antoinette, support by Lori. Tracy, is this for you?
I'm going to do a very high level. You obviously have an extensive report in here, but I am going to highlight just some things. Overall, you'll notice that from both a media perspective, an engagement perspective, social media perspective, our engagement and interactions have increased in the last quarter, and they continue to grow. In summary, if you look at media placements are whether it be a news station or a newspaper who's mentioned us and had a specific story over the last quarter increased by 55%. And then our advertising, the targeted advertising that I'll talk to you about in a second that we did on suicide prevention and SUD reached 2.2 million during that quarter. If you haven't already checked them out, I think we've shared them in the past, but I highly recommend that you check out some of the great news stories that SUD did, that several individuals were featured in. Regarding social media, you'll see that again, we continue to dramatically increase, whether it be increased number of comments, increased number of likes, and increased number of overall followers. Facebook is not as aggressive in its increases, although it still is increasing compared to LinkedIn. You'll see we have a total of followers as of this report at least, right? At LinkedIn is 3,526. You will also see some anomalies in the month of August for the number of both Facebook and LinkedIn, number of likes, number of just interactions dramatically increased, but it really was because you guys, and I'm very appreciative of this, announced your new CEO, and that caused some new excitement on the social media, so that's why you have kind of an outlier for August. So the other thing I wanted to just point out as a quick highlight is at the back is we have Facebook and Instagram, and overall, because again, we did some marketing campaigns specifically, and I was pleasantly pleased to see that you have over 700,000 impressions, which means they viewed it in some way, and you had over 4,000 clicks, which means they said, I want to learn more about this particular thing, which is amazing in comparison to kind of how we've grown over the last couple years. I know there has been some questions about Instagram and expanding. If you haven't been on our Instagram, I highly suggest you check it out. We have been expanding our number of posts. We're not quite there yet, but we're increasing our followers. I don't have the numbers in here because we actually, our direct staff manage those sites currently. But of course, I welcome any feedback or questions of any sort.
Any questions for Tracy?
I have just a quick question. Do they already have their plan for the next year, or what, any changes that they're going to do that will be presented to us or to you and then you tell us?
We don't have it yet, but that's a great point. We can get moving on that essentially. But you are right. We have our own internal, and then we have what we're asking them to do, and then they collaborate. So yes, I can get you their communications plan.
Okay, that's great. Phil, there is a top performing post about benefits of working from home that you may want to share with your fellow commissioners. Thank you, that's
I
it.
might know what you're talking about. Okay, any other questions?
If it's
Any other-
helpful to Antoinette's point, the most liked post we get is if you aren't paying attention to them, or when it's about a person, right? Like they see pictures of people they might recognize or know somehow. But the second most liked is actually on those types of subjects. Like, how does mental health and LinkedIn specifically impact my workplace? What can I do as a community member to be better? Test anxiety, all those types of things. So we do pay attention to the details and try to pay attention to what people are interested in, and then therefore try to do more educational opportunities about what people are interested in. That's one of the reasons why this data is being shared, because we think it's important.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Any other questions or comments? Okay, I have a motion to receive and file. All in favor? Aye. All right, moving on to item number 7, resolutions. We do not have any. Item number 8, other possible agenda items. 8A, CEO update.
I will, since I just talked to you about the main report, I will just give you some quick updates outside of that. Obviously, social media and marketing is all important, but having real live human face-to-face contact, we do that every day in our offices. But in addition to that, I'm sure you all know, and many of you, including Lori and multiple people, have gone out to multiple events. In the last 10 months, we have participated, as in we actively were at a table distributing materials, sharing information at 26 events, and we've counted it impacted about 10,000 people. In other words, of the audience that was present, we shared materials with that. So I just wanted to share that, so that way you're seeing we're out there in the community from a marketing standpoint, but we're also physically out in the community. And over the year, we have been tracking it, and we'll continue to track it to show how that's increasing, but also show what's working and what's not working. There are certain events that there's not a lot of people that go. Doesn't mean we shouldn't go. But then we know the next year, hey, maybe we don't need as much stuff or as many people to attend the event. If you do know of any events or things that you think that we should be at, definitely reach out. We are happy to participate. We very much value being in the community and being seen as a resource as a community, because it is too common that we would like that people don't know who we are and what we do. And to be fair, they have a misnomer about what we do. They don't know the huge breadth of all the services that are available to them.
Okay, thanks, Tracy. Any questions or comments? Okay, item 8B, reminder, our full board meeting Tuesday, November 26, 2024 at 6 PM here. Item number 9, provider comments. Any providers wishing to address the board? Okay, item number 10, hearing of the public. Any members of the public wishing to address the board? Going once, going twice. Any board members that wish to address the board?
I do. I'm not going to mess with Phil anymore, but I just wanted to thank Tracy for helping me put on the mental health awareness event in Mount Clemens. It was uh, a great event. I had about 5 people show up. I had members of Macomb Community Action show up, and then I had about 5 to 7 people online because we were live on there. But there were so many tools that we were taught, and uh, I got a request to do it again. So I just want to thank you because as soon as I put it out there, you were like right on it. So thank you for that. And it was just very informative. And if you have the opportunity to do something like that for your community, um, feel free to do it because no matter how big or small, it is worth it. And people have been talking about it and want to partner with us in their events to come. So thank you again.
Very nice. Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, as some of you may know, I sit in the advisory committee for a group called Partners in Crisis, which is a coalition group of mental health organizations, law enforcement, and the judiciary. We had a program last Friday, and I had asked Tracy, and who else did you bring with you? I think there was.
That one was just me this time.
Oh, it was just you. Okay, that not just you. It was you. And while I wasn't able to get it, she did a presentation on what we were doing on expanding crisis response. And the feedback I've got just got a note today from the executive director of the Mental Health Association. PIC is a offshoot of the Mental Health Association, was just glowing. So I want to thank Tracy for doing that. And I think it's good that the rest of the state hears, because too often they hear when things go wrong, right? They don't hear about the good initiatives that we were doing. And that was very impressive. So thank you very much. And then secondly, I want to congratulate Phil and Antoinette on their tough victories on Tuesday. I mean, I've always said there's only 2 ways to run for office: scared or unopposed. So if you choose the latter, that's a wise decision. But congratulations on your reelection.
Okay, anybody else? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Internet, support by Lori. All in favor? Aye. All right, good night, everybody.